Okay, so we're in Alaska in the snow. What myth did we get?
Okay, well, this is a fairly gory myth that affects a lot of Alaskans, but not so many in California.
What's that?
It's about the moose and what happens when you hit one with your car.
This is what happens when moose meets motor car. And it's all too common here in Alaska. Your best bet is always to stop or swerve. But this myth kicks in when a crash is absolutely unavoidable. Even a low-speed collision most often ends with something bigger and heavier than a fridge coming right through your windshield. The myth says that speeding up instead of slowing down might push the unlucky beast over the car, meaning you might live to tell the tale.
Well, obviously we're not going to kill a real moose to test this myth, right?
Right. Now, we're going to have to make our own moose analog.
They'll also have to wrangle a bunch of stunt cars and a safe test venue. But those are problems for tomorrow. Right now, they need to design a moose that can bounce back from something like this.
Have either of you ever seen a real moose?
No.
I don't think so.
Maybe we should try to find a real moose, so that way we can make our crash test moose as close to a real one as we can.
These California kids have never seen a wild moose, but they've had a tip-off from Alaska Fish and Game to search no further than downtown Anchorage.
Whoa, that's a big one.
This 1,200-pound bull named Buzzwinkle is loitering by a two-story bar called Bernie's Bungalow.
I'm not sure what's weirder, that the moose is in the middle of downtown at a bar, or that it's only like 1:30.
The legs end right about where the hood is, like right where you'd hit.
No way.
Look, he's going to the mall.
This mature bull looks about 6 foot tall at the shoulder, but they'll need to get much closer to take accurate measurements for a crash test moose simulate. Cue the Alaskan Wildlife Conservation Center. Out here, moose are accustomed to the ways of men. Well, most men.
As you can see, the ones in the wild are aggressive, but the ones in captivity are much friendlier. They're letting us get right up close to them so we can take measurements, because we're not going to be able to use a real moose when we crash the car into it. So we're going to need to make a moose simulate.
Desperately hoping there's safety in numbers, Tory and his fellow moose measurers venture inside the fence.
Okay, so I've got 9 feet nose to tail.
That seems about right. So we have 6 foot to the hump, 9 feet nose to tail. We've got the legs about...
It was about 4 feet tall.
Let's see, it came up to your waist, so we're gonna go, yeah, 4 feet looks good on the legs.
Okay.
But they still have to decide on the dummy's texture. Should their mock moose be served rare or well done?
Let's say we make this moose dummy out of ballistics gel. We hit that with a car, it's just gonna explode.
Yeah.
So we need to get a feeling for, you know, what it feels like.
Well, this is definitely not a ballistics gel.
No.
Is he firm or
Yeah,
squishy?
he's pretty solid. I mean, it's like there's hardly any fat on him at all.
He's got sort of like the durometer of like rubber.
Really dense rubber.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Seems we need to make a very dense rubber replica. And that's something the team can't do here in Anchorage.
We don't even know remotely how we're gonna get all of that weight up onto such spindly little legs. So it's gonna take some planning, a lot of effort, and we need the tools back in San Francisco.
Kari, Tory, and Grant are testing a myth that says speeding up your car might prevent this potential Alaskan roadkill from killing you. Back in San Francisco, Kari's been on the net looking for inspiration. And believe it or not, she's found a thesis by a Swedish man on how to build a giant rubber moose.
That's cool.
With his permission, they modify the multi-slice design and source a small mountain of rubber.
Cool! Those are the jet cutters right there.
With an Omax water jet cutter, H2O Precision can carve our moose slices in next to no time. Tory's already had the details of our design punched into H2O's computer.
All right, here's our moose. I know it doesn't look like much of a moose, but it will. Now, what I have here are 1/2-inch sheets of rubber. Now, we have the design of our moose in the computer in slices. Now, once we stack those together, we'll have the shape of a moose in rubber.
The high-pressure water spurts out at 50,000 psi. That's enough to cut through 5 inches of solid steel. So this is like the proverbial hot knife through butter.
Okay, so this is what we're left with. This is one layer out of over 150 layers of rubber that's gonna make up our moose. Now, once we stack these together in the right order and fasten it, we'll have roughly the same size, weight, and density as a real moose.
But a real fake moose needs more than sheer mass. Back at M7, Kari adds the bones and the sinew.
This is the cable we're going to use to keep the moose together. This is going to run the length of the moose twice, and that way when the car actually hits the moose will stay flexible and bendy as if it's a real moose.
Kari sleeves the cable in rubber tubing, and Grant's done likewise with the legs.
The deal is we want the legs, this is our moose leg, we want them to be floppy, but we also want them to be reusable once it gets hit. So the hip joint's going to be made out of steel, and that's going to connect to the cable that's inside of the moose leg, and when it gets hit, it'll go flying, and then we can set it right back up again.
Meantime, Tory's going gangbusters with his 1/2-inch fillets. And slice by slice, glued together with silicone, we're seeing a moose in the making.
It looks good though. It looks like a moose.
I know, kinda.
What do you think? Lucy.
Lucy the Moosey?
Yeah.
I love it.
Congratulations, Tory. It's a girl. But does she have enough junk in the trunk?
All right, so the moose is done, and it looks like it's weighing about 620 pounds, which is a good average for the type of moose that would likely get hit by a car.
Big giant moose antlers. You'll notice we're not adding these to our final crash test moose, and for a few very good reasons. First of all, 2/3 of the adult moose population, female, don't have antlers. Secondly, most of the moose that get hit are calves, don't have antlers yet. And lastly, moose don't even have antlers all year round, and during the winter when they don't have them is when they're more likely to be near the roads because they're attracted to the salt on the road while they're searching for nutrients. So to have big antlers like this and be hit by a car, very rare.
Now that the moose is done, we're gonna see if we can make him stand up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build a pair of 2x4 legs that the moose will sit on. It'll cradle in, so that way when the car comes crashing through, it'll knock the legs away, and then the moose will behave the way the moose will behave.
Building the frame is no big deal, but will it support the massive load we call Lucy?
Good move. Stay.
It does.
Nice.
I love it. Car come through.
And it's at just the right height for her ample proportions. And like any cow to the slaughter, it's best she doesn't know her destiny.
The moose whisper. All right, let's bring those cars in.
Tory, Grant, and Kari spent the past few days making something that, well, let's face it, we've all thought about, but never got around to doing. Building a huge rubber moose called Lucy. Now they've arrived at a specialized test track for what should be a shattering debut.
Okay, so this myth is really about hitting the moose, because obviously if you can stop in time, that's gonna be the best choice.
Right, this is the point of no return. You're gonna hit the moose. Now the question is it better to speed up or slow down?
All right, what do you think? Like 45 miles an hour? It's a good average between highway and regular roads?
That sounds good.
Crashing cars is more or less what the folks at E-Tech Testing Services do for a living. And parent company Energy Absorption Systems make crash cushions, which could be useful if this moose mayhem runs off the rails. But that's highly unlikely. A guide bar fitted to one wheel keeps the car on track. And through a system of chains and pulleys, a truck tows it from a safe distance in the opposite direction.
The reason why we came to E-Tech is because they are set up to test crashes. That's what they do. They have a towing system. It's a 2-to-1 ratio so that their towing vehicle only has to go half as fast as the actual vehicle that's going to crash. Plus, they have a steering hub, and he's attaching that right now, so that way our car won't veer off course and we hit the moose right where we want.
But crash test cars still need crash test dummies.
You know, I think this is the first time we've ever used Buster for what he was intended to be used for.
It's a historic moment. use a chiropractor or maybe a socket wrench.
I think it just needs to stretch a little.
With Buster buckled up, we're ready for test number 1. Moose meets machine at 45 per.
Am I excited? You better believe I'm excited. We just made a giant rubber moose, and now we're gonna crash cars into it. It doesn't get much better than this. This is the control test. 45 miles an hour, continuous speed into the moose. You guys ready?
Starting in 3, 2, 1.
Go.
Here comes the car!
That's 20 miles an hour.
20 miles an hour.
30 miles an hour.
30 miles an hour.
40.
Let it go!
45.
Wow,
That worked perfectly.
that's great.
And the moose is still together. Let's go look at the car. Oh my God, dude, that's exactly what the real moose hit looked like.
Well, this is a good test then.
Yeah,
That's a great test.
And Tory knows what he's looking for. Back in Anchorage, he checked out a local body shop. Just in his end of town, Gary Mogg deals with 12 moose wrecks a year.
This is not as bad as I've seen them total out the whole car. And a lot of the times, I mean, I've seen some fatalities, of course. People didn't make it through. But this here is probably the best scenario when you hit a moose in the front end.
Wow, that's a lot of damage. I mean, look at that. The whole top of the car is just peeled back. And how this guy survived, it's like a miracle. Apparently he laid down like this and let the moose go flying over him, but man, that would really ruin your day.
Back in California, this eerily similar squashed sedan is cause for celebration.
You gotta look at it from up here. The bumper's crushed in a little bit, but it traveled all the way over the hood. Look at that, like the hood's intact.
That is a beautiful thing.
I mean, the car came careening at the moose, hit the moose flies in the air, head kind of just floats, falls to the ground. We got exactly the result we need, and a lot of comedy out of this high speed, I'm sure.
But we're not so sure. Aside from Kari, seems the only one to split her sides was Lucy. It's not pretty, and it's not over. Will speeding up or slowing down reduce the carnage? And just how many cars can we afford to wreck in the cause of sensible driving? There's no doubt about it.
Go.
Hitting an average-sized moose in an average-sized car can only end in tears.
You know, it's like you're driving down the road, you're eating your baked Alaska, and all of a sudden a moose is in front of you, and you're like, you don't have time to swerve. You're gonna hit the moose. But now the question is it better to accelerate into the moose or hit the brakes?
Some say it's better to speed up. But let's first test this Alaskan roadkill myth by slowing down. Grant's installed a remote control braking system that's every bit as effective as a panicked human's right foot.
So the remote braking system is radio controlled. And what that does is send a signal to the receiver inside the car, activates a pneumatic solenoid that fires a pneumatic cylinder. And that'll pop the brake very, very quickly, just as if you were to stamp hard on it.
They know that at 45 miles per hour, the car takes 70 feet to stop. So to best simulate a real accident, they plan to hit the brake and in a later test, the accelerator just 30 feet short of our makeshift moose. Buster's had enough, so Cousin Ted is the designated driver.
There you go. Attaboy.
Now, braking on pavement is not the same as braking on snow or ice. But it's fair to assume that a sane person wouldn't drive this fast in truly bad conditions. And anyway, a hit's a hit.
We are ready to go.
Grant will hit the brakes 30 feet before we hit the moose. We ready?
Ready in 3, 2, 1. We're going.
Here it comes.
All right, we're at 45.
Look at that, it's
stopped perfectly. Wow.
It's another windshield wipeout. But they all agree that this time there's less damage, and that could mean the difference between life and death.
In this test, we decelerated drastically before hitting the moose, and there is not as much damage.
I mean, you still don't want to hit a moose. It's a bad thing, but if I was driving, I would try to brake.
But they've also noticed that the moose hit higher when the car went faster. This myth might have some mileage after all.
I'm starting to think that if you speed up, if you accelerate like in the myth, it might actually hit even higher. Now, whether it's going to clear the car, I'm not entirely convinced of yet. All right, you guys, this is it. This is what the myth is all about.
That's right, man. We're gonna drive 45 miles an hour towards the moose. 30 feet before we hit it, we're gonna speed up and see what happens.
So we can definitely see if there's a difference between speeding up or slowing down if you're gonna hit the moose.
So what do you think's going to happen?
Oh, I think we're gonna do some serious damage to both the moose and the car.
Lucy gets pieced back together for the big show.
All right, good as new.
And fearless Ted gets dragged back behind the wheel.
Snap out of it.
This is the test that might confirm the myth. Just 30 feet short of certain catastrophe, driver Brian's been told to hit the gas.
All right, this is acceleration test.
We are ready.
1, go.
10 miles an hour. 20 miles an hour. 40 miles an hour. 45.
Accelerate!
That was great.
Wow! Did you see how high the moose got on that hit? It looked like it got higher than any of the other hits.
Big, big damage.
And look at the glass. It's sprayed all over.
At the point of impact, the car hits 51 miles per hour.
Oh my God, look! It broke the back window out. Oh!
Wow.
Dude, that moose flew higher than any of the tests.
But it didn't clear the car. The side pillars are crushed, and the roof is peeled back like a sardine tin.
Look at this, it totally bent the midsection of the car down.
Look at the back seat. It went to the back seat. It went whoosh.
So what do you think? Going faster? Doesn't look like it's a better tactic.
Unless you want to get your car more damaged.
I mean, you are accelerating. You're hitting with greater force.
More speed is more energy. That's crazy.
Myth busted.
Myth busted.
Busted, just like all these cars.
Okay, it's busted, but all these cars are mid-size sedans. What if your car is a low-profile coupe? The roof is lower, so Lucy might sail right over the top. But Kari's already made her mind up.
Personally, I think people are watching way too many cartoons and getting their physics from Wile E. Coyote. I mean, when he goes off a cliff, he hangs there for a minute before he falls. I think they're seeing that the moose gets hit and kind of hangs there and then drops. It's just not possible.
Well, let's see. This time, Brian's simple brief is to put his foot down all the way.
This is full speed test. We're giving it everything we got.
That's right, low profile car. This is it.
All right, Brian, hit it.
Here he goes.
Oh my gosh. Oh dear. Oh my God, it's going so fast. There's sparks coming out. Oh my God. That was a rush.
The car hits 75 miles per hour. Lucy's lost her legs. The car is caved in. Ted's a sad statistic. And this myth is double busted.
This hit was hard enough to knock the ears off of our moose and the antlers. That's kind of an impact. That's pretty crazy. The moose is coming down on the car. No matter what you do, you're crashing.
You know what, I have a whole new respect for moose. I hope I never run into one on the road. If I do, I'm definitely not gonna speed up and try to take its legs out. I mean, we've shown it.
Unless the moose you hit is a world-class gymnast, speeding up will not save you or your car.
Did a little research, and it turns out that there are no commercially produced vehicles in the world that are capable of driving under our moose without damage. In fact, the only way that this could work is if you're driving a Formula One car at over 97 miles per hour.
On the snowy roads of Alaska.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen unless the moose is a race fan. So this one's still busted.
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 You know that dynamite dog myth? I've never heard of it before, but I mean, you could see how that could happen.
Yeah, I guess you should never mix your beer with your dogs and dynamite.
And that moose myth? I had no idea what would happen if you hit a moose with your car. It's not like I see them in my everyday life.
Yeah, those were both really cool myths, and they were given to us by fans. So if you have any ideas for myths, log on to discovery.com/mythbusters and give us your suggestions.